Hello people, and welcome back to another video. However, this time you will have to stay with me because we are going to talk about the application of a visa to get to a Schengen country. In this particular case, I'm going to talk about getting the tourist visa to get to Sweden for up to 90 days. However, as Sweden is a part of Schengen, the process of applying for the visa is pretty much the same. There are some forms, of course, that will differ, but no matter if you're trying to get a visa to get to Sweden or Denmark, Norway, or France, Germany, whatever, hopefully I will be able to give you guys a few pointers, what to do, what not to do, and those kind of stuff. This will probably be a 2-episode video because there is a lot of things to talk about. There are a lot of things that you have to do. There is a lot of things that you shouldn't do, and so forth. So without further ado, let's start to talk about getting a tourist visa to visit Sweden. I'm guessing most of you guys watching this video are looking to get a visa to get to Sweden or another Schengen country to be with your partner, be that boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So stay tuned. So first of all, let's talk about the temporary entry ban to Sweden. I do not know which other countries that have an entry ban. I would guess it's a few in this pandemic, but in Sweden's case, there is a temporary entry ban that was just extended not that long ago until January 31st. So today is January 8, 9, something like that. However, I do believe that they will prolong this more within the next week or so. But I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And the reason for this is, of course, Corona, COVID-19. And the Swedish government is saying, let me read, depending on the development of the epidemiological situation, both within and outside of the European nations, travel restrictions may be eased or reintroduced. What that means is, like I said, it might go away and they might prolong it. We don't know yet. We will see. So take this time to start to study and look what papers you need to fill in, what kind of papers you as a Filipino or Filipino needs to get to your home address, such as the Senomar, the PSA, the NBI. Make sure your passport is fulfills the required needs, and so on and so on. So what is a visa? Well, a visa is, as you know, a government's way of saying we will let you into this country for up to X amount of days. After those days you have to leave our country. There is always exceptions to a rule. The tourist visa can be applied for Sweden for a maximum of 90 days. There is always an exception to these rules. What those exceptions is, we will talk more about in the next episode. So this episode will be only about the general rules and stuff like that. So that's enough me talking crap. Let's get on with it. So, as I said earlier, a visa that has been applied to your passport is valid for up to 90 days during a period of 180 days. What that means is, if and when you get a approved visa, you go to Sweden and you're here for 89 days. Then you go back home. That means you cannot go home and apply for another visa straight away. They will reject that. So what you need to do if you're planning to go multiple times is apply for your visa. Let's say your visa gets approved. You stay here for 90 days, then you go back to your home country. Then you have to be in your home country for another 90 days before you can apply for a visa again. This is a general rule. I believe I'm not trained in law in any way whatsoever, but this is my interpretation of these rules. So you can be here for 90 days, then you have to go home and stay home for 90 days before you can reapply. In order to get a visa, you need certain things. I'm reading because I printed some papers from the Swedish immigration website. So what you need a passport that is valid for at least 3 months after the visa has expired. That's not very hard to understand. So if you get a visa here in January, you can be here for January, February and March, but your passport has to be valid for another 3 months after March, or else they will reject it. So make sure you check that before you apply, because it's a stupid thing to get rejected for stuff like that. So make sure your passport is up to date, and your passport needs to have at least 2 empty pages for the stamps. You need to be able to describe the purpose of your visit. Why are you coming here? What are you doing? You also need, we're going to talk more about the itinerary in the next episode, but there doesn't, at least what I've found in the Swedish immigration website, there is nothing about an itinerary there, but we gone through this, me and my wife, once, so I know that they will, at the VFS, is it called VFS? I think so. At the VFS office, in our case, we were to Makati, I think. They demand that you have that. More on that in the next episode. Passport, 2 empty pages, valid 3 months after the expiration of the visa. You need to describe why are you going here, what are you doing here, with whom are you going to be. You need to receive an invitation from the person you are visiting. What does that mean? That means, in my case, she wasn't my wife then, but when Rosebell came here, I needed to write a letter, invitation letter to her, describing that I want her to come here. That if you're going to Sweden, that number for that invitation is, let me read, 241011. 241011. You can get that application form at migrationsverket.se. That's the Swedish immigration website. If you're going to another country, you have to Google or ask your partner, your friend, whoever you visit, the website. But that's the invitation letter is something the person in that country does, not you as a Filipino. You need to have a medical insurance. You need to have a medical insurance that covers at least 30,000 euros. So make sure you check that your medical insurance that you get covers at least that. My recommendation is ERV. I don't know if it's erv.com. I'm not sure. Google that. That's the one we choose. That's the one we used. But now when the pandemic is here, make sure you are able, that it's a valid insurance. Because the problem is, for us, when my wife came here, because she came here just in the start of the pandemic, and it was okay the first 3 months, but after those first 3 months, she basically got stuck here. She couldn't go home because they closed the borders. There wasn't even airplanes going back to Philippines, because that was our plan from the beginning. She would come here 3 months, stay here, and then go back home, and we'll take it from there. So I would say we are one of few couples that's actually had a positive thing come out of this pandemic, because now she's here on a 2-year, I don't know what the English word is, but she can stay here for 2 years, and she's been here for 2 years actually, so we need to reapply for that this coming October. Anyway, ERV is my recommendation for your medical insurance. That's also a must. There's no if and buts. You have to have it. You need to have money to support yourself, or the person you are visiting need to have enough money to support you. If you are going here as a tourist, and just as a tourist, you need to have 450 Swedish crowns per day. That's the minimum amount they demand that you have. So if you're here for 30 days, you have to have 450 times 30 at least. And you need to show them that you have those money too. You can't just say, okay, I have it. You need to send them some kind of proof that I do have this money. But the thing is, I know most Filipinos that come to Sweden to visit their partner, they don't have 450 times 90. So what they do, or what we did, and I'm guessing most other people do, is their partner will be the one providing for them. And to prove that to immigration, you need to send in your payslips. I sent in payslips. I think you need to, let me check. I think you need to send in at least 3 months, but I sent in like 6 months. And also send in a proof of employment. Go to your manager or to have HR and ask them to write a letter that's saying, okay, he is working here or she is working here, and this is their pay and they've been working here since blah blah blah. That will ease the process a lot. At least I think it did for us. Let's continue. This is a big one. You need to show the immigration in whatever country, Schengen country you go to, that you intend to leave when your visa expires. And I think this is the thing that gets people the most. I'm guessing now, but I think this is the one that the most people get denied for. What does that mean then? That it means that you as a Filipino needs to show immigration, I got something to go back to. I got a work to go back to. I got kids to go back to. I got an apartment or a house. I got my whole family there. Because they will more than likely say thank you but no thank you if you got nothing to return to. Make sure that if you have work, ask your ask your employer to write you a letter that they are okay with you going to visit this country for X amount of days, and you have your employment when you get back. It's like a unpaid leave, paid leave, whatever you can talk to your employer about. What the Swedish immigration is writing about this is show that you intend to leave Sweden and the Schengen area on the last day before the visa expires. So that's basically, they need proof that you are going back home. They also need a passport. They need a picture of you. They need a photograph that is in passport format and taken with you facing the camera, and which is not older than 6 months. So you need to give them a picture basically, but don't take a picture from your phone sitting with friends. You know what I mean. And here comes the tricky one. Other documents that the embassy may require. What is other documents then? That is a lot of documents. We actually, when we applied for Belle's visa here, because she came here on a tourist visa, we ended up, I think it was 34 pages. And don't like, okay, I'm gonna give up, I'm not gonna do this. It's a pain in the ass, I know it is, because I've done it. It takes a lot of reading, but take the time to make sure that you have the right documents, you have enough documents, and the one here, other documents, is let me talk about that. Let me talk about the other document in just a minute. The application form you need to use for a visa, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one, but you have to double check me. Do not take what I say as I'm working with this. I am not. But the application form that you need to write and send in to immigration in Sweden is 119031. 119031. Again, you can search in the search bar on the Swedish Immigration Service webpage for that number, and you will have that one. If you're unsure, call them or send them an email and ask them, call them can be a pain in the ass. If you email them, they might answer, they might not answer within a reasonable time. So just make sure you do your homework. I'm just here to try to help you get through this a little bit quicker, because as I said, we've done this already. Okay, there's something called a visa extension too. I'm not going to talk about the visa extension right now in this episode because it's going to be long enough anyway. But for you that's already in that process of starting to look at a visa extension, the number for that form is 118031. 118031. And a word of advice here. From the beginning, when we were starting the tourist visa application for my wife, I actually paid a guy money, or a company money, to do it for me. I'm not gonna name any names, but that was utter complete crap. They didn't even spell the name right, and what we got was basically the 119031 form pre-filled for us. Nothing else. That's basically it. We had that form written out, her name, which was misspelled and stuff like that. So don't do that. Do the research yourself. I will be here to answer questions. If you send me a message on YouTube, I will do my best to help you if you need. But saying that, because I'm on a few forums, both on Facebook and others, and people tend to say, what should I do? And they do not do any research themselves whatsoever. So this video is my way of helping you guys doing the research. So you have the research here, but you will have to do the hard work. I'm not gonna fill in the applications for you. I'm not gonna order the seminar for you, but I can answer questions if you have any particular special questions about, this question is weird, what should I write here, like that. But I'm not going to do it for you. I'm here to help you, not to do it. That's that for the basic visa application. I'm not going to talk very much longer about this. But there is a few things more that you need to make sure you have in your application. We will go into specifics next time, more on particular things. But I also have a list here of things that you need to have when you're doing this visa application. First of all, make sure you have your application form ready. And that differs between countries. In Sweden, it's this number. In Norway, it's another number, and so forth. PSA. My wife is downstairs, so I don't know what PSA stands for, but I'm sure you guys in the Philippines already do. You need your PSA. Senomar. You need to order that original copy and get that sent home to you, and you need to put that in your application too. NBI. I have no idea what the NBI is. This is my wife's my wife's scripting. So the NBI, if you're Filipino, you know what that is too. Your passport, of course. You need your passport. And like I said in the beginning, make sure your passport is up to standards to what they are expecting. Validity and open pages. Bank statements. They need bank statements from, I'm talking about the one traveling from the Philippines now. They need your bank statements so that you can show, if you're telling immigration I have work, then immigration is expecting you to have a pay. And you need to send them the bank statements that are telling them I have money coming into my account every month. If you do not have work, you do not need to send your bank statements, of course, but you will also write that in the form if you do not have work. Letter of absence. Same here. If you have a job, you need your employer to write a letter of absence that they are okay with you leaving the job for X amount of days. Pictures together and with family and friends. I would say this: if you never met, let's say you met on a website, dating website a few months ago, and you're talking about you coming to a Schengen country to visit. I'm guessing now, but I do believe that you will get rejected. If you just met a few months ago, you have no proof that your relationship is real, then you most likely will be rejected. So my tip for you guys who are in the starting process of meeting each other, you still know you want to build a life together, meet up first. It's easier if the guy or girl goes to the Philippines first and you meet. I was in the Philippines for 2 times before we applied for Belle's visa here. I know we're in the middle of the pandemic now, so it's hard for Westerners to just go to the Philippines. But I think I've heard that some people, they do it in the middle now. If you can't afford it, go and meet somewhere else, somewhere where you can go to. I've heard some people going to Turkey, I think. That's a long flight from the Philippines to Turkey. But I heard about Vietnam, Cambodia too, that some people go there in the middle. That's not in the middle, but it's better if we as a Westerner take the longer flight usually, because of the money, of course. Cover letter. You need to have a cover letter. Cover letter, if I'm not mistaken, the cover letter we wrote who you were, how long we've known each other. I think we even had to write, or was that in the other? Never mind. Cover letter basically saying I am X, she is Y, we met that and that date, we've met X amount of times physically. Make sure you also provide them proof that you are chatting, video talking, and so forth. We sent, I don't know how many pages of I think that was WhatsApp or Messenger copies. Here's proof that we have talked. We met in January 2018. We didn't meet physically, but we started to talk in January 2018. We provided print screens all the way from January 2018 until when she got here. So do not delete your messages. Show them proof. I'd say I rather send them 50 pages of proof than one. So exaggerate, show them that is real, and make sure you do not lie. If you met 3 months ago, tell them you met 3 months ago. Don't tell them we met 1 year ago, because it's not stupid people that work with this. You might think whatever you want about the system. I think the system, at least here in Sweden, is fucked up. But do not lie. Make sure you tell them the truth, because if you lie, they will probably find out, and when they find out you lied, they're gonna reject you, and you're gonna have a hard time applying again because you lied. Itinerary, like I talked about. Actually, funny story, we forgot to write our itinerary. So when we went to Makati, to the VFS office there, to apply for Bell's tourist visa, we presented all these papers. I think it was 34 pages of papers. Like, here, this is what we want you to send to the embassy. I think that's in Bangkok. And we forgot the itinerary. But the guy who were interviewing her were so nice, so we actually got 10 minutes and a blank paper. Here, go out, write your itinerary, and come back to me in 10 minutes. Lucky for us, because he might as well just say, no, you don't have the itinerary. I'm not going to accept this. I'm going to deny it straight away. So make sure you have all your documents. This became a really long video. But next time I'm going to talk, or we're going to talk more about what's inside the paper. What did we write? Every person or every couple have their own story, but to help you on the way, we're going to talk a little bit more about how we wrote it. Not what kind of words to use, but I'm guessing you know what I mean. Anyway, my throat is really dry now, and I've been talking for way too long. Take care, guys. For all of you living in the Typhoon Odette's area, I hope you are all okay. For you couples that's met through the internet, still waiting to meet each other, just stay strong. There will come a day when you can unite once again, not once again, for the first time. For us it took over 2 years before we met, so it takes a lot of commitment, and it's a struggle at times, but stay strong, and I'll see you next week. Okay, take care.